Mums with Hustle podcast, episode 504.
Welcome to the Mums with Hustle podcast, where you'll discover everyday mum entrepreneurs killing it in their industry. Learn the secrets you can replicate to create your own success with your host, Tracy Harris.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Mums with Hustle podcast, or maybe it's your first time listening. I'm so glad you're here, and I deeply believe that everything happens for a reason, and so no matter how you landed here, I think that you're meant to be here. My name is Tracy Harris, and for the past 10 years, I have released a podcast episode every single Monday. Why? Because I want to build a community of freedom-making women. Women that have more freedom of time, freedom of choice over what they do, where they live. I want to help women become difference makers in this world. All of us in this community care deeply about our sense of purpose and what we are offering to the world in terms of our business offerings, our services, or our digital offers, or our physical products. Whatever sort of business you have, you care deeply about it. You're not just in this for the sake of making money at all costs, and you're most definitely not in this to lose yourself or to lose what matters most, which is family and freedom and health and actually being able to enjoy your life. We get one life. So anyway, if you resonate with any of that, you are my person and you are so welcome to stay. And I'm honored that you are here. And in today's episode, I wanted to share with you a conversation that we've had many times over the years, but I want to bring this one back up because I sense a shift. I sense a pivot in this community, and it's an exciting one. More and more of you are becoming more inspired to create a digital offer of your own. Many of you have already worked with me in some capacity to launch something of your own. I'm talking about your own online membership or online course or online group program, coaching program, even some of you creating your own masterminds, and I am so proud of you. And now you're in this season of growing that, right? But there are many of you who are just emerging as digital educators, and you're on the cusp of a pivot, and it can feel really scary. And sometimes you can even overthink. You can question, should I be doing an online course? Should I be having an online membership instead? Which one do I have first? If I'm going to have both, do I need both? All of these questions can start to really swirl around in our minds, right? And it can lead to the freeze. But there's a beautiful opportunity right now, and that is that you can grow either one of those. And in today's episode, I'm going to share with you some insights that is going to help you assess whether you're the type of person that feels most called to a membership model or a course model at this point in time. Or maybe you're going to be looking at both, but we're going to know which one that you want to start with right now. Because the beautiful opportunity is that you really can grow your course and membership or coaching business to 7 figures plus without burning out and whilst keeping your family and your health a priority. So backstory, because I know not everyone is familiar with my origin story, but back in 2016, I made $30,000 in 5 days with a live launch of a course. And I realized that digital business was indeed a thing, and it was life-changing for us. Now, at the time, I had a 2.5-year-old and I was pregnant with our second. And I wanted more. I wanted to know how to really grow that into a sustainable business, because at that point in time, yes, I had a digital offer and I sold it effectively through a live launch, and it's all very exciting, but it's one thing to have that, and it's another thing to actually turn that into a scalable and sustainable business. And I wanted, right from the beginning, to be able to grow my revenue, but also grow my time freedom. But I had major imposter syndrome at that time. I wondered, just like many of you do, am I really qualified to be doing this? I saw other people doing what I did at the time. It was just merely selling Instagram as, a marketing tool, teaching people how to use that, how to leverage that, because that's what I'd done at that stage. And I saw some other people starting to pop up, starting to do that too. And other people on the other side of the world that had even been doing this for longer than I had, which was inspiring on one hand, but intimidating in another, because I began to doubt that anyone would want to learn those things from me. I felt like there was already enough people out there doing it. Why would they want to hear this from me? And add to that, launching. Like, I'm talking about a proper launch, not just posting some stuff on Instagram or sending a few emails, which people like to call launching, and then realize that it's not launching. That's called marketing. But anyway, I digress. Launching felt really hard and heavy at the time, and it consumed our whole household. It consumed all of my thoughts. Everything on our calendar was structured around launching because it was so big. And by the end of it all, I was really exhausted. So really, I was beginning to fear and question, could I really keep this up? What if my next launch actually tanked? Like, how reliable and sustainable is this? Like, yes, it was lovely to make $30,000 in a 5-day period, but nothing is to say that I'm going to be able to do that again or be able to do more of that. It just felt so incredibly risky. And I would wonder if I'd have to go back to being a primary teacher, which I was for 10 years prior to starting my own business. And I even considered applying for one of the many jobs that my mum would keep sending me, because she was terrified that I'd left the teaching profession and she couldn't really understand what a digital CEO was, what a digital entrepreneur was. So she'd send me all these jobs, like just trying to be supportive, Anyway, so there I was with my first online course that showed some promise, but I really didn't know how to turn that into a business that was sustainable, like I said. And so I decided to find a mentor, and I've had many over the years, some that I've worked with consistently over years and years and years, to really help me stay on path for what I wanted. Because here's what I know. When you have a dream, and they always start out small, right? Or a vision for your life or for your business. I had someone contact me just this morning and tell me that she's got like the smallest spark of an idea for her own online membership. And I said, well, you've got to nurture that. What is your plan to nurture that and protect it? Because our dreams are like bubbles floating near jagged rocks. It doesn't take much for that thing to burst and pop, right? There are more people who will tell you to quit before you've even started. And there are more people that are going to plant seeds of doubt in your mind than there are people who are going to understand what you're doing and also encourage you. And I realized that I had significant knowledge gaps as well. I clearly knew what I needed to do to get to 30,000 in revenue from a single launch, but I did not know how to have a 6-figure launch. I did not know what was required. I didn't have those strategy pieces. I didn't have those systems in place. So I had to up-level who I was being and the conversations that I chose to have in my circle, the individuals that I was choosing to have in my life. I had to up-level my knowledge. I had to learn a whole new skill set. And it needed to be the skill set that was a match for a 6- and 7-figure business owner. So I had to be fully committed. I was not just going to wake up one day knowing that stuff. So anyway, that's just a little bit of context for you. So I began with my first digital product being an online course. Now what I haven't shared here is that prior to that, I had other digital products. We used to call them Ebooks back in the day. Is that what do people still use that term? I'm not sure. But what I'm talking about today is an online education program. or an online community program. Because some of you don't want to be educators, but you want to build a community with a purpose and a cause, and you want to help people, right? So I'm still speaking to those people. So we're going to put the downloadable resources to the side, and we're going to talk about one-to-many containers. And the two most popular being an online course container or an online membership container. So for the next little while, I'm going to just share with you some insights that define what each of these are, so that as I speak through them, you can do a little check-in with yourself and you can think about which one feels right for you and also makes the most sense for your people, given the transformation that you are helping them achieve. That's really important. You need to know the transformation, and then you also need to know yourself. And then we're going to marry the two together. And you're going to be able to leave this episode thinking, okay, I'm looking more at an online course for this. Or, okay, I'm going to park the idea of an online course for something else, possibly in the future. But what I'm looking at right now is a membership. And you're going to be solid on that. Okay? So get out your pen and paper and let's dive into this. We will start with the online course. So an online course can either be completely self-paced and hands-off from you. It can also be a bit of a hybrid. There can be pre-recorded lessons packaged up into modules, which people do go through self-paced, or it can be dripped. Definitely, you can do that also. And then there can be an added layer of coaching or implementation support. So people are going to go through this course over a period of time, and you're going to be there as their coach or their guide or their mentor, and you're going to offer them office hours, maybe in the form of Q&As or coaching calls or co-working sessions, implementation sessions, whatever it might be. I'm not going to get into deliverables in this episode, but an online course can be a really beautiful way to help your people. But they are focused on one transformation, delivered one time. So you get these people in, you get them to their transformation, and you release the people, okay? They come out on the other end, they graduate, or they have some kind of, yay, we made it party, and gone. They're gone, right? So a course is perfect if you are teaching one single transformation and you're delivering it one time, and then they're gone and you're gone. The support has gone. Now, with that being said, there is a fixed start and end date to most online course experiences, especially the ones where you are there during office hours or maybe once a week for a coaching call or once a month or whatever the cadence and the deliverables are, right? There's generally a fixed start and end date. So people are expected to consume the course material within a certain time frame, and hopefully you're giving people a pacing guide as well so that they can keep up and measure their time well and actually make it through to course complete. There you go. That's another little bonus. You're welcome. But it has a fixed start and an end. Now, when it comes to payment, there's usually a one-off payment, or you can offer people a payment plan. It can be a monthly payment plan. It can be 4 equal payments of whatever, insert set amount. But it's not recurring revenue, okay? It's a one-off payment or that payment plan. Payment plans are not recurring revenue, just so you know. And then the other cool reason for having an online course is it is great for deep dive learning into a single narrow subject. So single narrow subject, deep dive learning, one clear transformation delivered one time. Fixed start and end date, one-off payment or payment plan. And then you can move on with the rest of your year, or you can launch that course again and bring a whole new cohort in and teach them that particular skill or that particular transformation. That is generally the course model. Then there is the online membership. And this is perfect for the coach or mentor and also the customer who requires ongoing support and growth. So if you've got a customer or if you're teaching a subject matter where people are going to need constant support with their growth, or where there's a lot of change and updates, say in the case of my social method society, that is largely about building a personal brand and an audience that becomes an asset to your business using Instagram. So because that's the nature of the subject, marketing trends change, the algorithm, the platform changes all the time, we change, messaging changes and needs to change as our customers change as well. So, people need ongoing support. And that's why the membership model suits that subject matter. Because I know that if I taught that in one go and just said, okay, come in, it's a course, here you go, I can definitely get people to a particular transformation. But what people really need is ongoing support and growth over time. So it's the membership model that makes the most sense there. Now, I'm also someone that is deeply invested in the long-term transformation of an individual. I am not just here to get people started. I'm here to support people with actually following through. So accountability is a huge piece of what I like to provide, because I just think there's enough dodging of accountability out there in the online space. People are quite quick to sell a program, take your money, and then give you no accountability and implementation support. I love providing that space of healthy accountability. I also really love community, because I believe that we achieve so much more when we are in a space of like-minded individuals, people that have skin in the game, people that can become your friends. I know that in the spaces that I work in with female entrepreneurs, loneliness is a real thing. And we don't really have work colleagues, so it's really lovely to be able to have business peers. So building a community into the memberships that I create has always been a really huge piece for me. It feels very aligned. It feels very congruent to my personal and business values. And like I shared before, I am truly invested in sustained results. So again, that ongoing support and growth piece that comes with having an online membership is huge for me and for my people. Now, in terms of, is it a fixed start and end date? No, it's not. When you have a membership, it's focused on ongoing. It's focused on taking something through to mastery. And that means that there is no fixed end point. We just get better and we start to do things at a deeper level. And finally, when it comes to payments with a membership, your revenue is recurring every single month. So instead of starting every single month at $0 and then having to go out and market and sell, you can start every single month already knowing that you've made a minimum of whatever your monthly recurring revenue is for your membership or memberships/masterminds. And you begin from there. Everything else that you make is added to that. So it becomes really, insanely profitable, but also sustainable, and it just feels really good. It feels stable. So month to month, you can make more savvy business decisions because you know what money's coming in and you can begin to predict what money is going out. So it makes scaling much easier and much less stressful. So in a nutshell, they are the differences between an online course and an online membership. You do not need to choose one or the other. Some people have created a beautiful suite of offerings that includes both. Some people will have their course first and it's almost compulsory. They must come through that, and that's the only way to get through to their membership or mastermind. Other people don't have that. Some people have a membership on the front end, and then for more intensive or deep dives, they can move into a course. There's no hard and fast rule on this, but you do need to know the difference, and then you do need to feel in to, first and foremost, what's the transformation and which one is the best vehicle to get that happening for your people, and then which one feels the most authentic and true for you. And then you need to come in and get support on how to actually do that. So if you're listening to this episode and if you're a little bit curious, or if you are ready for more, just email us hello@mumswithhustle.com and we can talk to you about Freedom Filled Business, because this is where I help, together with my coaches, I help you create a freedom-filled business with a freedom-filled offer that is highly scalable. And some of the women are building courses. Some are building memberships. Some are building both. Some are building coaching programs. Some are building masterminds. And the aim is that they are all very lifestyle first, family first businesses. Because what's the point of having all this money and this success if you can't enjoy your life with the people that you love the most? So that's what it's about. Anyway, I would love to hear from you. So please email hello@mumswithhustle.com if you have any questions about Freedom Filled Business or any of my programs and how I can support you. But that's it for this week's episode. I'll be back next week with another episode to move you forwards in your business. Take care.